Thank you very much. Sam Gould, what would be UKIP's plan?
We want to actually devolve economic development even further to local council levels, so local councils and local people can actually have a say in what actually they want to see done in their local areas. We feel that actually by doing that we'll be able to have more local influence over business rates and be able to see then more competitiveness on those business rates for small businesses. But also I feel that we also need to want to scrap the Severn Bridge tolls, which is a massive deterrent for trade in South Wales in particular. And I think that by doing so will encourage more trade across between England and Wales.
Sam Gould, I guess part of the problem here is import of cheaper Chinese steel. But as David Melding was saying there, what we don't want to get into is a huge trade war with the Chinese when actually the amount of steel we send to China isn't all that much.
Okay, well it's very simple. United States of America put on 266% tariff on steel from China, and the European Union has put on a measly 16%. So America has done that, has been able to protect the dumping of Chinese steel. What we need is the European Parliament in Brussels and the EU Commission to actually protect Welsh steel and protect from Chinese dumping. I think there's also a major concern, but also we also need to look at business rates. Business rates have been devolved for over a year to the Welsh Government. Currently Tata's paying around £10 million in business rates a year. That's a phenomenal amount, and under EU state aid rules it's very difficult for those business rates to be cut specifically for Tata. And I think also then, that the UK government can also then look at energy prices. So there's actually a threefold thing we need to be looking at here.
Sam Gould, what kind of support do you think small businesses, medium businesses in Wales need?
They need the market to be able to be more competitive, and in order to do that, we're having to see a massive review in terms of the way business rates are funded and are managed, and in terms of EU state aid rules, actually then limiting the amount in which that can be intervened. In terms of procurement, in terms of for Tata, is the fact that EU procurement rules limit us from actually having a preference for Welsh steel, for British steel, and we see that much of the MED purchases over recent for many warships and for many armoured personnel vehicles are using foreign steel, and I think that is a limitation there, where under EU law we cannot actually prefer to actually buy from our own local businesses.
Do you not accept what the UK government said last week? They're going to tighten up rules so that they can have a preference for British steel. You think that's a nonsense then?
We can't do that under the EU, and so we're actually limited by so much which we can do while we're members of the European Union. I think, though, that by managing those business rates we can do so much more, by actually then having a more competitive market, by actually devolving economic development to local councils, we can have even then more competitiveness within Wales as well.
Sam Gould, what do you think? I mean, is it too much money just on one big project? Does it need to be spread a little bit more thinly?
It is indeed, and the fact that we don't actually favour the black route, which is the most expensive route. We actually would prefer the alternative blue route, which would cost around about £300 million to actually construct. I think that it is a significant amount of money. Yes, there is need for development in terms of that road, but the entire road network across Wales is in desperate need of investment. We have to share this investment across Wales, and we need to see real investment, and it needs to happen now. And I think also by scrapping the Severn Bridge tolls, that will also encourage further investment and further infrastructure, and also further commerce across Wales and across also into England, which is actually our biggest trading partner within Wales. Yeah. I think also in terms of that we need to ensure that there is massive development, and in terms also of wasting, we come on to earlier, of taxpayers' money, £172 million was overspent on foreign aid. That would have been enough to keep Tata open for 6 months.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.